Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm going to be looking at XEVIOUS on the Atari 7800. At least I think you say it like that, XEVIOUS. This is an actual arcade classic. I mean, this is what really came out on the 7800, where a lot of the arcade classics, kind of the step up from what the Atari 2600 was doing and the Atari 5200, where they really just went in and just gave you the tried to give you the same experience that were going on in the arcade back in the day on a console. Unfortunately, by the time the 7800 came around to being released into the marketplace, Nintendo already had its grip on people, and they were playing games like The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Brothers. So when it came to things like XEVIOUS, which I think might have actually even has a port on the NES. I mean, the NES eventually also had their own arcade ports too. So I don't have a whole lot of experience playing this one. I picked this up. I played it for a little bit, but you know, it's a standard shoot 'em up game kind of style with the ship flying through the terrain, shooting stuff coming at you. I mean, it's not overly complicated. There's not a whole lot going on. I even have the rule book here, which I mean, it's literally just a single piece of paper. Most of it just tells you what the scoring is, and kind of, I guess, well, there's always that, let's get started, insert your cartridge into the system. That's kind of an important first step to playing a game. But it does kind of run through playing the game, the battle plans, the strategies. There's a mothership. I probably will never get there. But anyways, I'm going to throw this into my Atari 7800 Pro system and see how XEVIOUS plays, and see if I can even play it myself. Okay, let's give this XEVIOUS a try. Hopefully I said the name right. Okay, so we got one player intermediate and novice and advanced. So I think it just makes more sense to start off with novice, but interesting there. The graphic, I guess they got going on there. A little bit tricky to read, but I think you know what you're playing. 1983 Namco, 84 Atari. So let's get this going. I'm gonna start with the novice, just because. Now I'm using a classic Atari 7800, North American one, anyways. The European one's a gamepad. I believe it was just the Europe that had that. So this gives you the two options there. You can shoot your front weapon, whatever it is, missiles, or you can drop a bomb. This game does remind me of like B-17 Bomber on the Intellivision. I still need to give that one another try. I find that those little things that fly through the air, those little circular things, are a little bit tricky. You kind of have to be fast when you get your crosshairs in there. I mean, you're always going to be looking at your crosshairs, and I seem to be missing all the stuff on the ground. So these things on the ground you got to hit with your bombs. And that's the one thing that it's a little bit strange about this game, is there isn't a sense of real depth. I mean, like, you kind of got to go by the graphic and be like, well, it makes sense that would be on the ground, so obviously I need to use the bomb on it. That and the fact that when you try and shoot them, your missiles will go right through them, so you kind of learn that the things that are kind of moving are the things you're going to have to hit with your front missiles. And, well, I guess those are moving too, but you really just got to know what you can hit with what weapon. Because it just doesn't give you that depth to tell you that that's on the ground and the other things are not. One of the things I found a little bit odd about this game. Could just be the way they decided to do the shading or whatever. Maybe they should have put some shadows or something on the things that are flying. As far as the music is concerned, it's a little bit irritating. It's not really even music. It's just like a repeating sound effect almost. Like, it doesn't even really feel like it's a song or music. It just feels like they just keep repeating the same kind of... Like, you got that little intro piece. I know a lot of arcade... I mean, this is an arcade classic, so I know a lot of arcades were like that, where they had the music right at the very beginning, and then they kind of would give you this little sound effect throughout the game. I guess it was to try not to distract you while you were playing, but I don't think it does a very good job if that's the case, because I find this sound effect to be a little bit irritating. So it looks like I'm at 0 life now. 50-30. Yeah. So well, you know what? Let's do the intermediate. Let's try each one. See if we can notice something different. It's probably just more enemies coming flying at you. I like the graphics though. I mean, I like the scenery down below. I like how you got all the little roads and stuff, and the different terrain. Kind of looks like, kind of reminds me of like Dragon Warrior or something on the Nintendo. Man, that would have been great to see something like a Dragon Warrior game on the Atari 7800. I mean, there's some games that come kind of like it, but possibly some homebrews I'm not aware of, but that would be kind of cool to see. I find it just took me a while to get used to when to fire, too. When to drop that bomb that it's actually going to hit the target. When I first started playing this, I was missing everything. It took me a while. I was even debating, should I be just holding down the fire button like this and just doing a sort of a rapid fire, just try and hit everything, because I don't see any negative side to doing that. And you can just hold down the button. You don't need to like keep pressing it. I guess the accuracy is the one thing. You're gonna miss a lot more because you're just randomly firing, as to opposed of you know, waiting for the right time to strike. Like, I guess when you start getting into more of a hectic, you know, level where lots of stuff is coming flying at you, that might be the right strategy to go, to just turbo fire, almost rapid fire. Because there is no auto fire or anything on my joystick to do that. As far as I know, there's no way to actually trigger it, so you just kind of either keep pressing the button or hold it down and just let it kind of go crazy. Ah, something just blew me up there. I got a worse score on this one, I think. So let's do it. Let's do the advanced. Let's see how the advanced is, if it's actually advanced. I have a funny feeling everything's just gonna come flying at me now. So more of these guys definitely are coming at me. Here's where I thought, you know, just to go all rapid fire on their ass. Just keep going. Whoa. I know I'm missing all the stuff on the ground. Whoa, where do those things come from? A lot of crazy looking things coming at you. You know, at one point I got to those little shield things that are flying at you. Well, not shields, but they're like these big iron walls, and you can't shoot them. You kind of just gotta dodge them. I mean, this has all the kind of like, I don't know, it kind of feels like a River Raid style game as well. Like, I guess there's a lot of games that were kind of like this. This kind of shoot 'em up style. Whoa, what are those things? You always gotta be looking at your crosshairs. I mean, that's where you gotta focus your attention on. But it gets hard because you also have to look around for the bullets coming at you. Still not fully getting the hang of when to drop the bombs. That's for dang sure. There we go. Something just blew me up. So this is the advanced. I mean, I guess my score is a little bit higher there. That could just be because there's more stuff coming at me that I had to shoot. Whoa, those are like almost like heat-seeking things coming after you. Whoa. Okay. Last life. Let's see if I can get through. No. Oh well. Simple game over screen too. So it's actually a pretty decent game. I mean, I really enjoyed the graphics. I didn't care for the sound. I said that while I was playing it. I mean, the sound was a little bit tedious. I don't know. What's the word? Repetitive, or it just kind of gets on your nerves. Now, this is the type of game that I would, if I was seriously playing this, I probably would turn off the music and put on my own music in the background. Because it was more of a sound effect to me. It wasn't really a sound. It wasn't catchy at all. It was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe the arcade was like that, so they wanted to mimic the arcade. Again, the Atari 7800 didn't have the best sound chip in the world. It used the same sound chip from the 2600, so that probably played into it, because, I'm finding that to be common with these games, is a lot of the 7800 games are very, the music is not the greatest, the sound effects are not the greatest. So, I mean, that could be solved by just turning off your volume and putting on your favorite record. But this is, I mean, it's not too bad for a shoot 'em up. I did start to get a cramp in my hand with the constant firing, but that's the controller, I think. I mean, the type of controller I'm using there, it's not my preferred choice of controller. I actually like the Atari, regular Atari joystick, but that only has one button, so you wouldn't be able to play it properly. You do need the proper 2-button controller. Now, there is a connector switch you can buy. I believe you can get it from the Atari Age website. Ed Ladin Controllers makes them, and you can actually play a a Sega Genesis controller. I don't know why I'm thinking Sonic. A Sega Genesis controller on your Atari 7800, and it can map the buttons. So that's kind of cool. That that probably would be a better way to play this game, is to use a nice gamepad with nice buttons instead of that controller. I did mention there was also a European gamepad that was released, and you can buy those too. You can go on eBay and find them. If you don't live in that part of the world, if you live in North America where I live, you can always jump on eBay and someone's selling them somewhere. Now, I did bring up another game that it kind of reminded me of. That was B-17 Bomber for the Intellivision. I don't know why I kept thinking of this game while I was playing that game. Probably because I played this game first. This game I had when I was a kid, when I got my IntelliVoice. I had 3 games with it. This was one of them, and it plays very similar, where you're flying overhead. Only with B-17 Bomber, it uses the IntelliVoice, and so there's speech in there, where it actually tells you stuff, and but it did kind of have that same feel to it. Anyways, yeah, this is not bad. I would think if you have an Atari 7800, it's probably worth picking up, even if you're only going to play it for a little bit. Decent sound, decent graphics, kind of fun, gives you the arcade feel. Probably worth the little bit of money you'd have to pay for it. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think of the game. Have you played it before? Have you played the arcade? Have you played it on any other systems? Because it's probably on a bunch of other systems I'm not aware of. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.